Year 2025, ladies and gentlemen, isn't it? Ah, poetic justice. It's such a beautiful thing, isn't it? This year, the tables won't just turn, they'll spin like a carnival ride, throwing them off balance, leaving them dazed and desperate. The games they once played so effortlessly will now be their undoing.
Alright. You gonna learn today?
Karma has been watching, patient and meticulous, waiting for its moment to strike. You see, the irony is exquisite. They crafted the rules, perfected the art of manipulation, and reveled in their cleverness. But this year, they'll taste the bitterness of their own medicine. The puppet strings they used to control others will tangle around their own limbs, and they'll find themselves dancing to a tune they didn't compose. They thought they were invincible, didn't they? Thought their lies and schemes would shield them forever. But the truth is, they were building their own trap all along. Brick by brick, deceit by deceit, they constructed the perfect prison. And now they're locked inside, with no one to blame but themselves. Imagine their confusion when they realize they've become the pawn in someone else's game. The moves they once made so confidently will backfire spectacularly. But their arrogance will be their blind spot, and their downfall will come not from an outside force, but from the very tricks they used to wield with pride.
What a long dick look like
this
today.
Year, they'll meet their match, someone who sees through their facade, someone who plays the game even better than they ever could. And when they try to pull their usual stunts, they'll be met with silence, indifference, and ultimately, their own reflection staring back at them, mocking their failures. Oh, they'll panic, scrambling to regain control. But control is a funny thing. It's fleeting, fragile, and easily shattered. They'll learn what it feels like to be on the receiving end of manipulation.
There is no dark side, nor a light side. There is only the Force. I will do what I must to keep the balance.
To feel powerless and small. And the realization will hit them like a freight train. This is what they did to others. Their ego, their pressure.
The right diaper for your
inflated ego will be the first thing to crumble. They'll try to blame the world, try to paint themselves as the victim. But deep down, they'll know the truth.
The balance is what keeps me together. There is no good without evil.
They'll know that every tear they shed, every sleepless night, is a direct consequence of their own actions. Picture it them, sitting alone in the dark, replaying every move they made, every bridge they burned. They'll search for someone to confide in, someone to confole them. But the people they once used and discarded won't be there anymore.
But evil must not be allowed to flourish. There is passion, yet emotion.
Their own isolation will be their punishment. And the universe? Oh, the universe has a wicked sense of humor. It won't just punish them, it'll teach them. They'll encounter versions of themselves in others, people who mirror their worst traits.
Serenity, yet peace. Chaos, yet order.
And in those moments, moments they'll see clear as day just how destructive they've been. They'll try to play the same old games, of course, but the rules have changed and they're no longer the ones in control. Every lie will be exposed, every scheme will unravel, and they'll be left standing in the wreckage of their own making,
I am the wielder of the flame.
wondering how it all went so wrong. You won't even have to lift a finger. That's the beauty of it. The justice that's coming for them isn't yours to deliver. It's already written in the stars.
Of balance. I am the holder of the torch, lighting the way. I am the keeper of the flame.
Cosmic balancing act that ensures no deed, good or bad, goes unnoticed. Their reckoning is inevitable. And while they're busy dealing with the chaos they've sown, you'll be thriving. You'll be untouchable, out of reach.
Soldier of balance. I am the guardian of balance.
Watching from a distance as the empire of lies they built comes crashing down. It's not revenge, it's just balance, the universe restoring order. They'll learn the hard way that trust isn't a game, that people aren't pawns, and that actions have consequences.
I am a gray Jedi.
And the weight of that lesson will be unbearable. It'll strip them of their bravado, their false confidence, leaving them vulnerable and exposed. Their apologies, if they ever come, will be too little, too late.
No, nigga. No. 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 Nigga. No.
They'll realize that some bridges can't be rebuilt, some wounds can't be healed, and some people like you can't be replaced. And that realization will haunt them for the rest of their days. They'll watch as you rise, stronger and wiser, untouched by their chaos. And it'll eat away at them, knowing they played a role in shaping the person you've become but have no part in your future.
The world. Here we go.
They'll see your success, your happiness, and it'll be a reminder of everything they lost. This year, their games will become their nightmares. The same strategies they once used to manipulate and control will now be turned against them. And the people they once fooled will see right through them, leaving them exposed and powerless. The games they played, the webs they spun, they thought they'd mastered the art of manipulation. Little did they know, those games were nothing more than rehearsals for their own downfall. This year, they'll face opponents they can't outsmart, situations they can't control.
Oh yeah, and for the girl backstage, make it publicly clear. Never mind who you thought I was. I'm Rick James, bitch.
And consequences they never anticipated. Every lie they told will echo back to them, louder and more piercing than before. Every scheme they plotted will unravel, thread by thread, leaving them entangled in their own chaos. The same moves that once gave them power will now strip it away, leaving them defenseless and exposed. They'll begin to notice the shift, subtle at first, but undeniable. The charm they once used to sway others will lose its effect. Their words, once so convincing, will fall flat. The world will no longer bend to their will.
God is calling you. Maybe you felt it.
And the realization will shake them to their core. They'll try to fight it, of course. They'll scramble to regain control, to restore the illusion of power they once held. But the more they fight, the more the universe will push back. It's poetic, really a reminder that no one can escape the consequences of their actions.
Quiet tug deep in your soul. A gentle nudge that refuses to go unnoticed. It's not a
ones running the subway.
Start to see shadows in every corner, enemies in every ally. They'll question the loyalty of those around them, wondering if they too are playing a game. The trust they so easily betrayed will now become the thing they crave most but can never regain.
Reaching out to you in the midst of all the chaos, the noise, and the confusion. Life can feel overwhelming, can it? Like an endless storm, battering you from all sides, drowning out everything else. Your peace, your dreams, your sense of direction.
Oh, the irony of it all. They thought they were untouchable, didn't they? Thought they could outwit the universe itself. But the universe has a way of balancing the scales, and this year, it's their turn to pay the price.
You spend so much time fighting just to survive, to keep your head above water, that you barely have a moment to catch your breath. But even in the storm, if you listen closely, you'll hear it. His voice. It's not loud or forceful. God doesn't yell over the chaos or demand your attention. No. His voice is different.
Every victory they once celebrated will feel hollow. Every triumph will turn to ash. They'll revisit the scenes of their past, searching for answers, trying to pinpoint where it all went wrong. And in those moments, they'll think of you. They'll remember your strength, your resilience, and how you walked away from their chaos without looking back. And it'll sting like nothing they've ever felt before. This year, their smiles will be forced, their laughter hollow. They'll put on a brave face, but inside they'll be crumbling. The masks they wore so confidently will slip, revealing the cracks beneath, and the world will see them for who they truly are.
Soft, steady, unwavering. It whispers to your heart in a way that's impossible to ignore. A quiet reminder that no matter how far you've wandered or how lost you feel, you're not forgotten. He's calling you because he knows you. Not just the surface version of you, the one you show the world.
They'll feel the weight of their actions in ways they never expected. The same tactics they used to hurt others will be used against them, and they'll finally understand the pain they caused. It's not revenge, it's justice, pure and simple. The relationships they once valued, the people they once controlled, those bonds will be tested, strained, and ultimately broken. They'll find themselves alone, staring into the abyss of their own making.
He knows the real you. The one carrying scars no one else sees. The one wrestling with doubts, fears, and regrets. He sees the battles you fought, the nights you've spent awake, questioning your purpose, and the tears you've cried in silence, hoping for a sign that you're not alone.
And in that solitude, they'll be forced to confront the truth they've been avoiding. They'll try to escape it, to distract themselves with new games and new players. But the past has a way of catching up, doesn't it? No matter how far they run, they can't outrun the shadows of their own mistakes. And this year, those shadows will loom larger than ever.
You know what's smart?
Pride will be their downfall, their arrogance their undoing. They'll cling to the illusion of control.
Here's the truth. You've never been alone. Even in your darkest moments, when it felt like no one saw you or cared. He was there, watching, protecting, waiting.
Even as it slips through their fingers like sand. And the harder they hold on, the faster it'll all fall apart. It's a lesson they won't forget, a lesson they never wanted to learn. And you'll be the silent witness to their unraveling. You won't need to lift a finger, won't need to say a word. Their downfall will speak for itself, a testament to the power of truth and justice.
He was there when you felt abandoned, when the weight of life pressed so hard on your chest, you could barely breathe. And he's here now, calling you back to him, because God doesn't give up on his children. No matter how far you've strayed, no matter how many mistakes you've made, his love remains constant. He's not waiting for you to be perfect or to fix everything on your own. He's simply waiting for you to turn toward him, to listen, to let him guide you.
And as they crumble, you'll rise stronger and brighter than ever. This year, they'll learn the meaning of regret. They'll feel it in every fiber of their being, a constant reminder of what they lost. And that regret will be their companion, their shadow, their curse. It'll haunt them, torment them, and drive them to the brink. But here's the thing, they brought it on themselves.
You might be asking, why me? Why now? But the question isn't why, it's why not? Why not now? Why not you? There's no right moment to answer God's call.
Every choice they made, every lie they told, every bridge they burned, it all led to this moment. And now they have no one to blame but themselves. They'll try, of course, to shift the blame, to paint themselves as the victim. But deep down, they'll know the truth. This year will be their reckoning,